And sometimes letting go is just what's best for you. Hey babes,
I'm Madeline.
and I'm Daisha.
And welcome back to the Elegance Exchange. Today we're going to be talking about the one that got away. More so you, not somebody else. We're not talking about somebody getting away from you.
If anything, it's like you just letting go of the situation that you're in and you're just moving on.
Right, because if you think about it, if you are leaving friendships or you're leaving a relationship, the last thing you want is to go running back to somebody. You want to be the person that they cannot get.
You constantly just like trying to reach out, you constantly trying to do all this stuff, and these people don't want anything to do with you. You just look desperate. You look desperate. It's giving, oh, she can't live without me. Oh, she'll be fine. Like, she'll just be alone. And that's not the energy, that's not the vibe you should be giving, if anything.
I think that's such a good point, because the more we reach out, the more we seem like we can't live without somebody, right? And you want to be the person that has created such a better life, a new life, without them, and you become this magnificent, like, magnetic person that everybody wants to be around, but they can't have. It's like that TikTok trend where it's like a picture of them in the relationship, and it's like the person you didn't want, and then it's them now where they've had like a huge glow up, and it's like
the glow up.
The person you can't have. That's the energy you want to channel.
And I get it, I really do. I get wanting to always reach out to this person, trying to fix things because you don't like the way that things, maybe it was a messy fallout or something like that, and you don't like the way that it was, and you're like constantly trying to grab this person. You should not be holding on to them. If they want nothing to do with you, let them go. It's kind of like you have to show the same energy. If anything, that's what my mom said. She was like, if they don't want anything to do with you, why do you still want to continue holding on to this person when they're trying everything they can to get rid of you?
I recently was reading a book by Mel Robbins. It's called The Let Them Theory. And this is something that I am so bad at. I'm like, okay, well, they did this, so that means that they don't like me. Or they did this, so they're judging me. Or,
literally.
Things like that. You have to just let them. So say they want to walk away from this relationship and you're not ready to walk away from it. Or they constantly just don't want to be around you, or they don't reach out, or things like that. You just have to let them. The only thing you can control is your reaction. You cannot control them. You can only control your reaction.
And once you learn like how much you control, like you can only control yourself. You can't control other people. You can't control what they think, what they feel. And once you figure that out in life, the smoother it'll be for you.
It honestly unlocks this new potential and this new like energy, and learning that you can't let other people's actions create like this gloomy day for you.
Right. And there was another thing that I watched, actually. It made a really good point, and it was like, if this person is not appreciating the things that you bring, other people will.
Yeah.
Because if this person does not care about, they don't want you, there's another person that does want the stuff that you bring. And like I said, like I was going through this kind of the same situation as well. And like I was thinking, like, if this person doesn't appreciate me or doesn't want anything to do with me in their life, I know people that do want me to be part of their lives, and I know people that will prove it to me and show me,
There's always going to be people that come into your life that will treat you better than your previous relationship. I think that's something that's so hard to notice. You might be the one that got away for somebody else, but you are going to be the love of somebody else's life, eventually. You just have to think about it, and the fact that, like, yeah, you got away from them, and that's great, but now you are entering your new era. You're getting a new partner. You're gonna have such an amazing time. They're truly gonna cherish you. Literally, we are, today, earlier, we saw somebody, like, blindfold their girlfriend and, like, bring them.
He set her up like a picnic blindfolded
flowers,
brought a big basket of flowers,
2 things of flowers, set it all up. It was so cute. Like, truthfully, there is somebody that is going to give you the effort, and sometimes you just have to be the one that got away.
And I know that's such a hard pill to swallow. And like I said, like sometimes that's just the final thing you have to do. Like, especially if you've reached out, you've tried to make amends, you were open to change, and they didn't reciprocate that, then you just have to let it go. And I know that we all get to a point in our lives where we're so comfortable with the way that things are, and we don't want to let it go in the first place because that was never what we wanted. But like the longer you hold on, the longer you're just gonna hurt yourself. And if anything, that's also a really good point too, because I saw this phrase, and it was like, the more you try and control stuff, the more it's gonna control you.
Yes, exactly.
Like
Exactly.
the more you try and control like how this person's gonna react to you, you're just making more control over you for them.
So you need to take that control and utilize it to control your actions and improve yourself, right? So, say there was something that you didn't like in that relationship, you didn't like about yourself, and you need to self-analyze that, and you need to reason with yourself, how can I change this habit and make it better?
Right.
You need to implement a routine to improve yourself. So say, you don't like your mental health, or you didn't like your mental health in that relationship. You would constantly get jealous. You'd honestly feel discouraged all the time. What you need to do is you need to journal, and you need to reflect. You need to write it down. You need to see therapy. Make yourself better so that you are the one that got away. You can always see who ends up better because you can see everybody's personalities come out, right? If you go from a breakup or a toxic relationship and you constantly talk down about the other person, you constantly, talk smack to other people or things like that, obviously people are going to think that you're the instigator. Whereas if you focus on improving yourself and you focus on yourself and you don't talk about them, you don't even give them the time of day, you are the person who is doing the healing. You are the person who is improving themselves. You are the person who, is making themselves better to create a better result for their future partner.
Exactly. And sometimes letting go is just what's best for you. Like I said, people just get upset, like they don't want that to happen. But like then you look back at it and you're like, man, and like imagine if I stayed in that friend group. Or imagine the person I'd be if I was still like in that, situation, and it's like you wouldn't have grown at all.
Yeah, and I see this all the time too. People get comfortable in their relationships. So, say your relationship is super great in the beginning. You guys do super romantic things, you go on dates all the time, you constantly are prioritizing each other's time. But then 4 years down the road, or 6 years, or 20 years, you just don't get the time of day from the other person. Or maybe you two are both super busy and you don't create that connection anymore.
Yeah.
That's when you honestly need to evaluate if you should walk away. For some people, that's okay. They don't mind it, and that's great. But for other people, that connection is something that they need, that quality time. And creating that and knowing when to walk away and knowing when to be the one that got away is truthfully the best thing you can do.
And like it's gonna be one of the hardest decisions you've made, probably. Like it's a very big decision. It's very like out of your comfort zone. It's very like it's a very big life adaptation.
Lesson.
Exactly, and
Yeah,
life
it's
lesson.
a lesson too.
And so there's just like you just have to do it. But like I said, like you're gonna look back at it and you're gonna be like, wow, like thank goodness I did.
Yeah.
And there's so many people in this world. I actually just searched it up yesterday for your card, and
Oh.
there's 8 billion people
my
on this
gosh.
earth. There's 8 billion people.
Surely you can find somebody who's pretty darn good.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Surely there's people there's people for everyone. There's someone else for every single one. Whether it's a friendship, whether it's a relationship, whether it's family, like there's always someone else for someone, and you just need to find them. And but like if if things are meant to happen, if this person is meant to stay in your life, then they will cross your path later in the future. But if not, maybe it's okay. It's okay to accept that you guys are
Fate
both
took you away.
yeah, you guys are both branching to two different directions.
Truthfully, there's nothing better than thinking that way. But you also need to realize most of our viewers are fairly young. Most of you are early high school, college, or just now getting into a career. Think about the amount of people that you are going to cross paths with. You are going to cross paths with successful lawyers, successful CEOs, or successful art students, or, just successful football players or whatever. You are going to cross paths with so many successful people, or simply super sweet people that are going,
That are just
the
like
right way in life.
exactly.
You are going to meet so many new people, so don't bother wasting your time hooking after somebody else.
And that's another thing my mom mentioned too, because it's the same situation, but my mom was like, you know, you're also young. You're 19 years old. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna grow. Like, you still have a whole entire life ahead of you. Like, this is just the beginning of adulthood. And imagine how many people you're gonna meet afterwards.
Truthfully, I mean, so many people honestly break up after high school or they break up after college because they're going in two different directions. And so, you know, just know that it's super normal. You're not alone. There's other people that are going through stuff like this, but you need to be the one that got away. So, yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else?
I don't.
So, this was a relatively shorter episode, but I think we got our point across. So, if you are just feeling a little discouraged, be the one that got away, you know?
I know.
Improve yourself.
I promise. If that person's not appreciating your presence and the
You're
things that
better
you
off
do,
alone.
exactly.
Great. So, we are on YouTube, Instagram,
Spotify, TikTok.
and
It's all
TikTok.
the Elegance Exchange. We made it nice and easy for you guys.
And we are going through a little bit of a rebranding, so you guys can come along and join us as we go on our own self-love journey. So yeah, all right, we love you, babes. Bye.
Bye.